I feel like my fate, my destiny is so bad, and I keep blaming God. Like, God, why? Why did you put me in this kind of situation? Blaming myself for having pregnant at such a young age, and even sometimes resenting being a mother, which is totally not me because I love being a mother. I love my children, but those times I feel like life is just so out of my control and I'm in a very bad situation. But now I can actually see things regardless if it's a good thing or a bad thing as an opportunity for me, as a gift for me to actually learn. If there's a project that I want to pursue and if I fail, it's not really failure because I can learn. Now I know, now I've got the experience and now I know what are the things that doesn't work and I can be an innovator to create or to try new things. So really there's no such thing as failure. It's always just learning. My name is Gladys. I'm a proud mother of two. And I am also a co-founder of Emerge PH. It's a social impact project where we aim to inspire 5 million Filipinos to take full ownership of their growth and learning through the year 2030. I know it's a very ambitious mission, but that's where my heart and passion lies. And it's also for me to set an example for my kids that you can expand your family not just by blood, but you can actually care and love towards everyone. There's 100 million Filipinos, but not everyone is ready to take that step to grow themselves. Because I myself just took me a long while to even go through this path. I've just recently been really diving into who I want to become as a person for the past 2 years. So it's not that long. And the journey is very scary and difficult. So I can imagine for a lot of other Filipinos, it would not be an automatic shift for their mindset to dive into self development. I have a co-founder and also a life partner, Eli. This is his vision for the past 7 years. He's been living here 10 years. He's from the US and moved here in the Philippines and lived here for almost 10 years. And he see a lot of potential in Filipinos to actually grow themselves, but there's always that limiting belief of I can't. You may have the opportunity to be successful in the US, but here in the Philippines, it's limited. So therefore, I can't be successful because of all these limiting factors. He has that vision of trying to kind of shatter that belief, try to show some examples of how someone, even whatever background, wherever you came from, there's always a possibility for you to achieve success, even just be or live a fulfilling life. And when I heard about that vision, since I'm already in that path of I wanted to improve my life, improve myself, I was like, why don't we push that vision? So I was like I would say I was the driver for him. So when we started like being in a partnership, being in a relationship together, that was like our main goal as a couple is to actually put that, give birth to that vision of him. And I'm very happy to be part of this mission of inspiring, my countrymen. I came from a poor background. So I was born in Zamboanga in Mindanao, and I'm the 12th child in the family. My dad is a farmer. My mom is, just a homemaker. So you can just imagine how life is so difficult at that time. And when we move here in Cebu, it's even harder. We don't have our land to farm, and therefore we live in a squatters area in the slums. And it's so easy for a lot. I can understand coming from that kind of lifestyle. I can understand how you will not be able to see a different perspective or even have that hope of success because the place where you are, the environment that you grew up with, is very limited. You don't even have your own bathroom. You can just, take a shower outside with a lot of people passing by, neighbors. And the people around you also have the same mindset of like, we are born like this, and this is just our destiny, and as well as the religious belief as well is just telling us that this is not the real life. There's always this internal life in heaven, so it's okay to just live like this and be contented like this. For a long time I followed that kind of cultural belief, but when I already have my kids, which for me is really a blessing in disguise, and when they're already growing up and they're starting to question about, Mom, why is our house small? Why do they have a big house? Like, Mom, are we poor? Why does our roof leaks when it rains? And it just breaks me. Maybe if it's just myself, I could take that kind of life, but to see my kids suffering and also questioning and seeing how hard it is to live, to grow up in a poverty, that just shatters my heart. And therefore I started thinking like, you know what, I don't want to continue living like this, and I want to focus on how can I give a better life to my kids. I want to have a better life. I don't know how, but I just want to make that decision. And when you start making that ultimate decision, possibilities, I think your brain just automatically will give you options, possibilities. And I feel like possibilities are always around. It's just that if you don't focus on it, you will not see it, even though it's already in front of you. I feel grateful that I've reached this point of noticing that pattern and actually deciding, reflecting on it and deciding for myself, is this the kind of life or mindset that I want to give to my kids? And when I start reflecting on that and asking myself that question, I personally don't want to continue living like this, just believing that there's no chance for me to succeed in life just because I came from a poor family or just because I live here in the Philippines and there's limited resources. I refuse to believe in that. So when I just started having this determination of, you know what, I will do the best I can to actually remove myself from the situation and be in a better place. And I don't want to blame the parents as well who unconsciously pass along this kind of limiting beliefs to their kids because again it was just also passed along with them. So all I can do now is feel compassionate and understand them and decide not to continue with that pattern. When I was in high school, I noticed how one teacher was able to influence my life, and I had this mindset of like, wow, if a teacher can influence me, a student, like I want to be someone like that. I want to be able to be like when I grow up, I want to be a teacher so that I could influence and help this person succeed. It's like success of your student is your success. And I thought, if I will be a parent myself, if I have my child with me like all through their life, I could be such a big influence to this child's life. So therefore, being a parent is like my greatest, such a noble job for me at that time. I was like, I definitely want to be a parent. That way I could live a legacy in this world where I could pass along such a great impact where, this person, this child could actually help another person and that person could help another person. So I've been having that thought. However, that Gladys got like shoved down after a lot of being exposed in very harsh society, like being pregnant at a young age and being ridiculed and this other people's opinion. I forgot about that Gladys, and I listened to other people's judgment and misconception, and I started believing what they were telling me, that I am, I'm a very irresponsible person. I'm such a bad daughter for not following what my parents told me to do, and a irresponsible mother for having a child at a very young age, and like, what kind of life will I give to my kids if I don't have a job? Mother at 17, you can't even get a job because you're a minor. Like, what kind of life will you give? And for 6 years, I believe in those voices outside of me. I never listened to the voice within, and I live a miserable life. But also, with my kids and that experience, I was able to wake up and tap into the real Gladys, who's very confident and know that capable, who actually thinks like, you know what, this limit limiting belief that I have, or limited situation that I have, these are not a hindrance. I know that there's always opportunity out there. I just have to push forward and go for it.
It seems that you are very calming, you're very mature. Do you have any personal philosophy in life? Why Gladys is really like very calming, very mature, and so deep in thinking.
Wow, thank you. that's a that's a nice compliment.
You mentioned a couple of times now about your partner. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, you don't need to go into details about the very personal thing, but just to give the audience an idea about you and your partner.
When we met, we are both conscious and just open towards each other, that we're not seeking for a relationship. We're here to meet people. And I was happy to hear that, because for the past 2 years, I've been desperately wanting to find Mr. Right, and I keep failing. I'm just gonna meet people with no agenda and intention. I just wanna connect with people, because it's so beautiful to connect with someone and to build experiences with people. And I don't want to block myself from those experiences just because I have this agenda of, are you gonna be my potential partner?
We're the last people standing, still dancing when the lights come on. The music is fading, but this is our favorite part. I used to feel like an outcast, but I think I'm alright after all. 'Cause you make me feel like I belong. You like me from me without all of the glitter, and you make me laugh just like a little